There we go.
As we are making progress. The topic of tonight, the topic, everybody's abuzz with what our president put out, not president, no, actually Elon Musk put out that as we are making progress memo. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is JacQueline with Intuition Power and Cosmic Light Academy, and my co-host, Stuart Elliott from Guilin, China. Hi, Stuart.
Hi, it's great to be here again.
And it's a new moon today. It's fabulous. I'm in Reno, Nevada, and the trees are starting. You can see, like last year, Stuart reminded me I was swimming, and at this time last year, and I did a couple laps, and I looked up in the trees with just the branches. It looked like there was this green haze, and I'm going, must be we don't have chlorine in my pool. It's geothermal water.
It's all the algae. It's all the algae.
It must be algae, right? And so I continue swimming, and then I stop, and like the other tree has a green haze. It's like, what? And then I swim to the other side and look at the other side, and now all the trees had all the little leaves were starting to just open up. And I ran out and got a couple of my neighbors, and I said, quick, call all your friends that have kids and get them to take their kids outside right now and see nature happening at this moment. Like, and usually within 2 days, I've been in Reno. It's exciting for me because I grew up in Southern California and Los Angeles most of my life, and we don't have those seasonal changes. So to see everything go from just branches to bloom in 2 days, it's amazing. I love it.
And the thing is, it does happen very quickly, doesn't it? It's almost like you blink and then the leaves are appearing from nowhere.
Right. And so tonight's topic, we wanted to talk about making progress. And when there's a new moon, I in 2007 I started leading guided meditations every new moon and full moon, and I keep thinking I did it for many years, just as a public service on a audio conference line, and we actually had people from all over the world join in. It was very exciting because there was a little map, and it showed even somebody from, I guess, from a ship, because it was the middle of the ocean. Somebody was blinking from, so that was cool. And I keep thinking maybe I'll start it again. But the new moon and the full moon are really good times to meditate, because there's energy, and the new moon is time to like start things, and the full moon is good times to complete or end things. And
well, that's why they say the full moon is a harvest moon, isn't it?
well, no, there is each moon is named a different name for what's going on. So yeah, there is a full moon, harvest moon in the fall.
Okay. There you
So
are.
our
That's the question I don't learn, do I?
getting back to our topic, getting further into our topic of making progress. Our I don't know if it was President Trump that asked Elon Musk to do it, or Elon Musk just decided to do it, because I think Elon said, no, President asked me to do it. But he sent out a memo to a lot of government employees in the United States saying, it was just a very short memo. Please take a moment to, this is not an exact quote, but to write down 5 bullet points of what you achieved last week. Make sure there's nothing confidential and nothing, no passwords or anything like that. However, he said that succinctly, and return it, respond like within 24, 48 hours, and send a copy to your supervisor. Well, the news outlets are going nuts.
Yeah.
And people are going nuts, like, who is he to say blah blah blah? And and being having been an executive CEO coach for 10 years through Peak Potentials with T. Harv Eker, that's a good thing to be able to review, take a moment, review, and go, what just happened?
Yeah.
Was I on track? Did I stay on target? Did I accomplish anything? And we're living, we did something. What was it? And then
Well,
celebrate.
there's an interesting thing. I think a lot of people are living in a trance, because they're just existing and they don't see what they're doing. I mean, you have to make that conscious thought. What did I achieve this week? What did I do this week? Because the week goes, or the month goes, or the year goes. You don't see that you've achieved anything. And I think part of the challenge is as well that we're looking for that big achievement. And if it didn't happen, nothing happened. But we've done so many things. I
The
mean,
baby steps.
one thing that a lot of people do without even thinking it's an achievement is they get up and they get a cup of coffee in the morning. That's actually an achievement, but you don't recognize it as such. And that's where the challenge lies, isn't it? To
And a lot of
reframe our
people,
thinking.
and a lot of people go to work the same old, and they're working for the company and they don't take personal ownership or pride. They just, well, I did what I was supposed to do, instead of, this is your life. And to stop and celebrate, I did this contribution and I did it well, or I did it screwed up, or and I got to fix it, or whatever that is. But when we do coaching, when I do coaching, it's not only what did you accomplish, but to set it up in motion, take a moment and meditate on it, or imagine, use your imagination and imagine the end result being a huge success. And then you go through in time, and at the end, what just happened. If it's 10 different baby steps and it's a 3-month project, then each baby step is a huge success if you choose it to be. And isn't it nice to be able to go, yes, I did it, got through the first baby step. It's nothing. Wait a minute. It's something. I did it.
Yeah. I mean, I advise a lot of people to start a success diary. And what I want them to do is to have a little pocket-sized physical book, not a computer screen or a phone screen, physical book. And then every little success, write them down. Take a time at lunchtime or needing to write all these things down. And then make it nice and put it, my success diary, whatever. Anytime you're feeling down, you can open it up and you can just see page after page after page after successes. And what's even more beautiful is if you do it properly, you'll soon fill that diary. So you get another one and you get another one and you get another one. And then soon you've got a bookcase full of these little diaries. And it just shows you visually how successful you already are. And if it's
you pick any one and you open any page and it's like,
or just see them all there. Look at my success. Or if it's in your pocket or your handbag or whatever, it's a physical reminder. You touch it. Oh, yes, I'm very successful. And it's such a simple thing. And we're talking about all the little successes. Did I get up and go to the bathroom? Yes, because that is a big success. You don't want not to do that. We take it for granted, don't we? Just like eating, drinking, or whatever, we take it all for granted, but we don't recognize that success. And once you get in that habit, it releases that negativity that we carry around with us because now you're successful.
A lot of people don't want it. It's too silly. It's not adult to be able to celebrate each little baby step. It's not good enough. But our self-esteem and our health and our stress is so closely tied to how we feel about ourselves, the stress or the anxiety that we have, like I'm not accomplishing much, or just the fact that you have a job and you're bringing in income. For some people, that's more than enough. Because there are people around the world that would love to have that. They don't have opportunities. And so the ability to really handle the doldrums of, well, what happens if you get a job and you have a problem with the people that you have to work with. And either you love the job, or the people aren't so good, or the people are great, but the job isn't so good. Maybe that's a sign to see, how can I grow while I'm here? And how can I find something that would have a happy situation for both circumstances?
Yeah, and in the meantime, whilst you're looking and doing that exploration, that job that is not satisfactory is actually still putting food on the table.
Right, right. And so that's where a lot of people get into fear and restrictions,
Mhm.
and or lack of self-belief. Or I don't know how your book is coming with your the
Loving
imposter
yourself.
syndrome.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we create it by the thinking. We think we're not good enough. We think we're not enough. And it doesn't matter at what level you are. I mean, perhaps you are a millionaire. And there was a really interesting little video I saw by a coach, Marissa Tears or Marissa Peers. I can't remember the name. She's a UK hypnotherapist and coach. She was asked to help somebody in California who had all the trappings of success, the big mansion, the big cars, everything else. He was, multi-millionaire, and he wasn't happy because he didn't see himself as being good enough. All these things were hiding that. And one of the things she got him to do was take a lot of post-it notes and stick them everywhere, on the steering wheel of the car, on the mirrors, on the wardrobe, all over the house. I am enough. After a month, he changed totally because he was seeing that all the time. And she did some extra other work with him. But I mean, that was the thing. We don't think about ourselves being enough. We just take it for granted. I can walk. It's nothing special. Everybody can walk. Well, no, that's not quite true. Some
Right,
people can't walk and they'd love to, but you can walk, celebrate it, and recognize those achievements.
right, right. Celebrating the baby steps, and sometimes our mindset is impacted by the food that we're eating, or because what's coming out in the news is a lot of the, I saw one of them, it was just amazing. He this gentleman, he looked like he was in his mid 40s, and he said, I've been a professional painter all my life. He said, I can't believe what I just found out. And he puts the camera on this um I don't know if it was glyphosate, or there was some kind of like a paint can, and it
Mm-hmm.
said across it with a skull and bones the name of that chemical. And he goes, as a professional painter, everybody in the painting industry knows that this is poison. And he
Mm-hmm.
goes, I've never read what's in the cereal that I've been feeding my family.
Yeah.
And he goes, here it is. Look, this, this. And then he points at the poison. He goes, and he says, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. Then I went to the market and I pulled out two other, and I looked in the same things. And this is in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going, I've been feeding my children poison.
Yeah,
And so
and
discovery, how did I get on that topic? So anyway, sometimes that
who
poison
said we are
affects
what we
how we
eat?
can, right,
You know that
affects our body, which affects our mind and affects our attitudes.
no, it's true. I mean, I had a friend in South Africa at the archery club he used to be there, and she, whenever she ate red meat, she got very aggressive, and she recognized it over a period of time. She stopped eating red meat. She just had chicken and fish and things like that, and then she was the most pleasant, calm person.
Some people
Food
are
affects
really,
us. Yeah.
as has the other side of me is I've trained professional intuitives or psychics or
Mhm.
professionals in business to develop their intuition or psychic abilities, so they have an advantage of being in the right place at the right time, forecasting accurately on a
Mhm.
consistent basis. And so the sensitivity that's refined through the intuition training, my intuition power masterclass, is definitely it's a game changer, because you start to be aware of the food that you're eating, the quality of the liquids that you're drinking, and the amount of rest that you get, the hours that you sleep. All of these things impact our um, ability to function, and our glands, which affects our ability to just have joy, and or to be peaceful or calm or to laugh. And as these poisons or chemicals are ingested, it dulls us down in
Yes.
many different ways. And so we and talking about growth spurts, the kids and the teenagers and the young adults are still growing, and so it can outwardly compensate, and you won't necessarily see it as much, but it's still impacting the body. So as things move forward, and it as the garbage pail gets filled up with these toxins in the body, gradually we got to do a cleanse. We got to clean out the pail. We got to stop feeding it the toxic substances. And
And that,
when
that
we
includes your thoughts as well, doesn't it?
right, right. I remember my
Your
mom used to
thoughts
always
are.
say, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it.
Mhm.
So that was drilled in. And then I was in my mid-20s, and I was shown some pictures of with a sound frequency. There was a gentleman, a Dr. Peter Guy Manners in the UK,
Mhm.
and he was doing research with sound, and he was doing research with light and sound. And so we brought him to our center in Los Angeles, and he brought some films, and it showed what was called an oscilloscope, and it was like a drum surface,
Mhm.
and it was almost like sand granules pushed together in the center, and then a pile. And it was like a megaphone over this equipment, was like a megaphone over it, and you'd talk into it, peace, 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 and it would make the surface start to vibrate like the drum surface. And these sand granules would start to spread out. Well, they became a beautiful mandala, like a
Mhm.
snowflake pattern, um, very, very round, very symmetrical, with intricate patterns like snowflake patterns. And then they did it again, peace, peace, peace. And again, it was a similar pattern. And then they did hate, hate, hate. And it wasn't round. It was a distorted pattern, no symmetry to it. Then they showed under a microscope what a cancer slide looks like. And
Mhm.
then they put the two together, and it looked very close to me. And
Mhm.
at that point, I realized, if you don't have anything good to think, don't think it,
Mhm.
because those are patterns of energy that you're putting out, whether you're
Mhm.
thinking it or whether you're speaking it. And
And
because
and that's why the little celebrations we were talking about are so important, because they change that negativity in your thinking, and that affects the whole body, because you become more positive, more innovated. Just look what I've achieved,
right,
and
so
it's beautiful. And we, we,
so
we are getting a little bit long in time.
making progress. So making progress today is, if you're watching this, thank you for sharing. Thank you for pressing that share button and giving us some
Mhm.
comments. um, Stuart, you've spent a good part of your career in helping people overcome the challenges, blocks, emotional worries, and
Yeah, it's the limiting beliefs, or as I say, the belief system barriers, the BS barriers that we create without realizing it. And we're not doing, often we're not doing it intentionally. We don't realize it. And one of the ways we do it is by not celebrating.
right,
And it doesn't have to be something big. You don't have to do a jig and handstands everywhere. It can just be going, yes, like that, or
right,
something
right,
like that.
right. Or it could be just a snap.
Yeah,
It could be
something that
just a
you
tap on the
recognize.
arm, or
Yeah,
something to acknowledge your
changes
own
your energy.
success.
it changes your energy. It really, really does. I mean, I remember in the 70s, I was watching Bjorn Borg, the tennis player, and he won Wimbledon many times in 5 or 6 times just around the time of McEnroe. And every time he won a point, he'd just go, yes. And then he'd
Right.
focus on the next one.
Right.
He was
Right.
a very, very quiet person, but every single point
Right. Right.
and it
I've got an
energized.
idea. Let's give people an opportunity. Come up, you don't have to come up with 5 things, but one thing that you want to achieve between
Mhm.
now and next Thursday.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
yeah,
make notes of how close you're getting, and don't look at the thing, as I'll never get there, or no, I've failed, because every little step you make along the way is a success in itself.
in fact, let's give them 2 weeks because 1 week from now, I'm going to be up in the middle of a mountain at a wedding somewhere off grid. And I don't know if I'll have a good internet connection or how long the wedding's going to be going on that evening. So,
Well, that will be a success in itself. You've got that goal. How are you going to be going there? And then you can tell us the journey or the story of the journey when you get back in 2 weeks' time.
yeah,
So
it's
that's
an hour drive off road, up a mountain, up a mountain, and part of that hour is on a fire road, and then you get off the fire road. I've been there before,
well,
but
that sounds
it's called
wonderful.
Hummingbird Village, and
Hmm.
it's a beautiful place.
Hmm. It's got a nice
So
name.
yeah. So and if people want to have, I think there's still 1 or 2 sessions that are
Yeah,
open
there's
for
still a
you.
couple available. When you get to the website, you'll see the big buttons. Click the button, and if there's nothing available, well, come back again and see when the next one opens
Right.
up.
And so that's a 1 hour consultation for free
Mhm.
with Stuart. So if you have anything that you might want to explore on how to be your best you,
Yeah,
and if
I
there's any,
call it a supercharge your self-worth session.
it's powerful. So go to Coach Stewart, S CoachStuart.com. And to connect with me, go to cosmiclightacademy.org. And we'll see everybody in 2 weeks. But remember to please press the share button and write down at least one thing that you want to achieve between now and the next 2 weeks.
And then
Okay?
measure your steps along the way and celebrate every little one. Just after writing it down,
Absolutely.
do a celebration,
Right,
that's
right,
going to
right, right.
power you. And, I always say to people, celebration is the gas you need to fuel your car, and you're the car.
Okay, well, on that happy note, thank you for joining me today, and thank everybody you out there for watching. And
Yep.